Welcome back to Pilot Ryan Media. We are here with another hot one, the F-14 from Eflite. This is from Horizon Hobby. Come into a local hobby shop in the country if you got one. If you got one in the city, come to one too. We have actually two of our own, one in California and one in Indiana. If you can get there, that's great. If not, we got links in the description that you can support our channel with by using. So thanks so much. I'm Pilot Ryan, been doing RC for a long time and super fortunate to get to share our experience with so much of the new stuff that's out there right now. These, a lot of us have been waiting for a while. They are shipping now. If you're watching this video, it's hot, it's live, it's on the site. Pre-orders are going, and there's more for the rest of you too. So get on it while they last. Let's go. F-14 with a sweep wing, runs on 4S power. Oh, let's go. Super pumped. So the box is nice, right? And it's got a handle on it. So apparently you can travel with it in here, which keeps these things in, oh gosh, in great shape. And this thing being what it is, guys, it appears as if there's like little to no assembly. Check this out. Definitely follow all the instructions. There's addendums and there's things here. Read before setup. Now, who is this plane for? This is for somebody who's got some experience already and is willing to program the radio. It takes 3 flight modes to be able to really operate this plane to its fullest. So there's the sweep wing, supersonic configuration, there's half out, and then there's full. That changes the configuration and really the way the plane behaves in the air, just like a real one. And with the programming, if you follow it as prescribed and laid out by Horizon, you're gonna have a thing that operates just as it's promoted very, very well. So that's not a beginner type of situation. So somebody who's got some experience in the hobby already is willing to program the radio and, you know, is ready for an EDF. They fly a little different than airplanes do just because they fly a little faster. Oh my word, look at this. Being that this isn't a beginner plane, this does not come with a radio. They assume you already have a radio, you're a few planes into your journey, and because nobody wants to sell you something you're gonna crash right away. Nobody wants that. It doesn't matter. All these companies, it's the same. They don't do well if they oversell something that's advanced to newer folks. So this one is for someone who's got some experience, definitely, and willing to program the radio to operate the flight modes and such. And we're gonna get into that. You know, I thought I was gonna have to put something together, you guys. When I saw the handle, I got really excited because I'm like, this may not be much of a build. I mean, is that it? This is it, it's right here. These wings sweep out. It came extremely well packed. Oh my word. And it feels amazing. It just quick look at the landing gear. You don't have to fly with the wheels. They do not retract, but on something this size, you're not gonna be able to have that. It's just too much weight. So you can fly it with the wheels like this, and that's how I will do my maiden flight. I will also do my maiden flight with the wings completely swept out because the plane flies better that way. It's easier to fly that way. There are no ailerons on the wings, so that means everything is done on the tail. I'm very excited about this and to see what it takes to program it. So I'm just gonna set it right back in the box to take the lid off. Oh, nice. Steering servos right there. Your battery, which is a 2200 4S, already has a piece of Velcro down there. Fits right there. So 2200 4S smart battery, I'll link that in the description as well. That's definitely what's gonna fit on here. It's an IC3 connection. Your old EC3 stuff will work also, but of course, the new ones will as well. That is interesting. And this is plastic right here. I really thought there was gonna be some building involved. It's really all radio setup. And keep your foam pieces because you can completely put this back in the box, fully assembled, and travel with it. Because otherwise, as tough as planes are, they get damaged the most in the vehicle or in and out of the house. So I highly recommend keeping this box. You'll be glad you did. That is perfect. And there's the handle we're talking about right there. That's great. Right here on the bottom of the carton, I was right. There's the manual. You need these. Okay. Now we can shut the box. Oh my goodness, I gotta charge up 2200. My word. This looks absolutely stellar. Look at that. So that's swept wing. And then we'll mechanically, not mechanically, but once we get it set, we're gonna set it up by the book and these wings will sweep out. Neat plastic bits here to house the hinging points and stuff for this wing sweep. And then a lot of plastic here, glad to see it for the horizontal surfaces, which are also doing the roll. The aileron, there are no ailerons on these wings. So it's all tail. It's all horizontal. Look at those nozzles. It looks great. Are you getting that? I like the wheels. I thought they may be, you know, usually on the small stuff when they give you wheels, it's not all that. That's just right for what that is. And you can, again, easily just pull that right out and this right out. That is awesome. That is one of the neatest things about this. I set it up by the book. It wasn't too hard. Flight modes, I just followed the instructions. Super easy. And it has safe on it out of the box already. It's going to default to the channel 5 switch. It's just like the Ultra Micros do. You don't even have to program it in. It's already there if you want it. It's awesome. And safe, if you're flying this plane, you already know what safe does. It's not going to let it roll as long as you've got the airspeed. And it's already, it defaults to your A switch. So now safe is on and you can see the roll happening. And then when I flip out of safe, the roll's gone. It really goes back to neutral, even though it's at a bank. But safe fixes it. So it's cool. You don't even have to program it. Just set up the flight modes, set up the rates the way it says in the book. Super easy. If you want to see a video on that, just ask me in the comment section. It's got to go crazy, and I'll do it. So we're following the manual. Now we're to the part where they want to make sure you've got your elevator neutral, your ailerons set properly, so it flies good. And this is a great starting point. You want to do this, I'm telling you. If the plane survives not doing it, you're going to spend your whole flight fighting it. So set it up by the book. That's what we're doing right now. And there's an access panel underneath to the servos that operate these tail surfaces. So if there's anything that needs to be done, that's where it happens. Super easy. That you get to see the receiver then also with that cover off. Pretty cool. So we're gonna make sure this is right now. We're just gonna take a peek at this. And I get even a little bit more with safe on, so that tells us everything. And everything is, you know, correctly oriented as far as the control direction goes. So this is a left roll, that's appropriate. And this is up pitch, down pitch, and then vice versa. Here's a right. The tail does it all. So you want it set up by the book. And this looks to be really dialed in. It's at the proper position for what they call neutral, and I see that on both sides of the fuselage. So I'd say this is cool. So yeah, you trim in this flight mode, and I'm gonna check this right now because it's interesting to me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So we have it set up just the way it's supposed to be. They want you to check the neutral setting for the tail surfaces with the wings swept all the way forward. And your leading edge of your horizontal surface should be about 5 millimeters up from the mold line. And mine is on both sides, just the way they say. So I think that's fantastic. Always trim in AS3X mode. Never trim this model or any model in safe mode. Fly with the wings in the forward position, not swept for initial trimming flights. And I like to, even though I may end up hand launching this plane, I really like to do my maiden flights with the landing gear on, because I got that rolling chance. And now we know we're set up by the book. The battery really only has one place to go, so I feel really good about the CG, center of gravity. Yeah, so hand launching, they say, in AS3X mode is not recommended as it may result in a crash. They recommend hand launching in safe mode, and I think that's a good call. Especially if you, let's say you're flying at a place where you can't do these wheels for your maiden. A safe hand launch is nice. Throw it like you want it to go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like a football kind of, but just skip the spiral. Nice. That was my only concern. So when I sweep the wings back, so yeah, I want to do this trim. So let's give it, we are on this side of the plane, so I'm going to give it a ton of right trim. Because I'm nuts. So now flight mode to flight mode, that's gonna go away. So that trim is only for that wings out. That's exactly how this is gonna work for us, because it is gonna fly different. And you see how it remembers it's neutral throughout the whole cycle. It's gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna go ahead and put this back to where it's supposed to be. So everything's neutral, everything's great. Wings swept the way it's supposed to be. You know, the trim doesn't change out of the box for the flight modes. You have to do that. Because they recommend for the first flights for the wings to be out, we already know that's like its best flying. It's just the best. It's gonna be easier to fly that way. And this is the position that they're giving us for the elevator. My prediction, although I don't know yet, this is a little bit of down incident, so it speaks to me this high wing lifting body fuselage really nose up with the wings out when you have all the lift, is my guess. And so I feel like when we go back to mid and full position sweep, I think it's gonna need more trim to get it up. And if it needs a little bit of left or right in any of the configurations, you're set because you did the flight modes. It's not that hard. I've been sweating this, but it's really not too bad. And it's interesting. So let's go back full sweep. And a lot of you guys know, if you've been flying any of their other planes, a lot of times when you flip safe in, you get more up elevator. They want to slow the plane down, you know. With this one, when you're flipping a safe, you get a little more down. So they're going for predictability. This thing probably, because it's not super heavy up in the nose, it's really nice. To keep it light, they have to do this because the nose isn't heavy enough to be like following a glide really on its own. So you have a nice slow approach with this controlled down elevator situation. I think it's great. So yeah, that's safe. It's more down elevator. And then if you're out of safe, it's less. So I do feel like it makes sense that when we sweep back, did that adjust on its own? No. Dude, I think it's already given you a little incidence on the tail movement between the modes. Somebody tell me in the comments below if I'm just seeing things. Yeah. Totally. And it's not by much, but they got it programmed in. When you're sweeping these, it's doing it too. So I was actually right in my assumption that the most down incidence would be with wings swept all the way out. And then if I just flip it hard and skip the middle position, you can really notice the elevator doing the move. What happens when you sweep it, it naturally mixes in less of that down elevator. Just like I thought. Ha, it's in there. It's in there. And so check it out also. It's also mixed in that it's not gonna get tied up in here. So watch this. If I'm full throw and then I sweep the wings, it will get out of its own way. Awesome. Look at that. Totally clear. And then back again. I was full left hard the whole time. It gets out of its own way. Totally cool. Bonkers technology in a plane this size. Always wanted to do an F-14. Very complex. Now I get to do an F-14. Super easy. I'm gonna have some success. Let's go. So F-14 from Eflite. This is from Horizon Hobby. You can find it at quality hobby shops all across the country. And if you can't shop local, click the link in the description to your favorite video people. I make a lot of videos, so I like having you here. Stick around, check out the rest of the channel. We've been doing RC for a long time, and it's a really fun experience. So hang out with us. This is the F-14. Stay tuned. We'll get this thing up in the air as soon as possible.